Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alissa Coram. I'm joined by Ed Carson. And Ed, we're going to be taking a look at two grocery names and a high flyer that's been on our radar. Tell us more.
Yes, good afternoon, Ali. We're going to look at two IBD 50 stocks that you may not be too familiar with in terms of growth names, but Sprouts and Kroger are both near buy points. Meanwhile, Fastly finally slowed down after 11 straight days.
All right, well, first let's take a look at the major indexes. This is a chart of the NASDAQ here. We saw a nice upside reversal today. The tech-heavy index closing up 1.2% for the day. The Dow leading the gains with Boeing in the headlines, up about 2.3%. The S&P 500 up 1.5%. So we see this upside reversal here at a very key level for the NASDAQ and some strength into the close. A pretty nice session.
Yeah, I mean, we basically closed at session highs, nice action. There was some positive economic data. And, frankly, after a few minutes into the session, the market rebounded. It wasn't looking great to start, but we got above the 21-day moving average. And, maybe we're going to move sideways here. It doesn't mean that we're going to go straight right back up to highs. I mean, sideways action would be fine. Would allow more bases to form, the 50-day moving average to catch up. But this was positive, seeing this on the NASDAQ, and there was positive action on the S&P 500 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up. We've seen the S&P kind of struggling around that 200-day line.
Yeah, and obviously that battle may continue over the next few weeks, but today it moved back above there. It sort of found support a little bit above the 50-day. The Dow found support at the 50-day. There was just in general, all the major indexes showed some kind of positive support after some pretty ugly selling on Friday and last Wednesday. So that's, just positive. We'll just have to see what the direction is from here, but, generally overall fairly strong.
Right. And among individual names, we're going to kick things off with a look at Sprouts, a farmer's market, ticker SFM, gaining about 5% today, Ed, in slightly above average turnover. Now, it's pretty interesting looking at this stock starting from, earlier in the year. And whereas a lot of stocks we saw really crashing hard during the coronavirus sell-off, that wasn't quite the case with Sprouts, but it does seem to be a little bit of a turnaround story in terms of the fundamentals.
Yeah, they were struggling for a while, but even before, there may be some coronavirus buying now, but as you can see, there was some of it, there was some strong growth at the end of 2019 with a 42% gain in earnings. So there's some positive action there. There's a turnaround. Obviously, right now, there's more of this cook from home mentality. So, not mentality, the reality, especially, and it may continue as more states restrict indoor dining, because it looked like we're all going to go to open up restaurants. Well, that seems unlikely to really be pushing forward. It looks like if anything, we're going to go the other way for a while. Yeah, there's a buy point right now at 26.94. You can sort of see with that dotted line. Though you could argue this is a double bottom, and so 26.15, it's right up on that level, with that, sort of a short double bottom. And so, that certainly would be actionable. It'd be nice if the market were more clearly strong, but it's definitely, these would be actionable entry points.
And industry group peer Kroger, our IBD 50 stock to watch today as it nears a handle entry, gaining about 4.4% for the day, Ed.
Yeah, I know that most of our family's consumer spending has been at Sprouts or at Kroger-owned Ralph's, it seems, in the past few months. And this one is also doing well. It has a very awkward cup with handle. And just like Sprouts, the relative strength line isn't the best, but they're both coming back. There's just a lot of stockpiling, and 34.60 is a legitimate entry here. And they've had pretty decent growth the last few quarters as well. So that should continue on in the short run at least. And these, it's a tough business. This is always a low margin business, so you can't expect maybe the huge profits over time.
Right.
But these are definitely, they're on the IBD 50 for a reason. They're actually doing quite well right now.
Yeah, speaking of, I guess the mindset of a trader, when you're looking at something like this, balancing, looking to capitalize off of maybe a short-term trend here versus holding something that you're taking a step back, looking at that weekly and monthly chart, and seeing that long-term outperformance and really a strong track record of earnings and sales growth. Not quite seeing that with these names, but maybe you could look at it from a more tactical short-term perspective.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like some stocks you might think, oh, this might really go for a long, long time, a long-term leader. Grocery stores just tend to not have that long run. And so, but it's nice to have a balance in your portfolio. Just don't want to be too overweighted in something probably in this sector.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on these two names for now. And last but not least, let's check in on Fastly, ticker FSLY. It did fall about 10% today, but that was after an 11-session winning streak, 2 weeks in a row with 35% plus gains apiece. Just, really outstanding gains here. So it's actually a good thing to see it pull back here a little bit and potentially set up a new entry.
Yeah, and this is why we always said you can't be buying this, even though it kept on running and running, because things like this, and it could keep falling. I mean, it's still well above its 10-day line, let alone its 50-day line. With its 50-day line is just like around 45, 42. So, long, long way for support. A lot of coronavirus plays sold off today. It's sort of interesting that even though coronavirus cases have been surging, and there wasn't, a lot of them are extended like this, this one may going to continue to have strong runs. It'd be nice if it could provide an opportunity for investors who didn't jump on it around 25. Really haven't been a lot of opportunities since then to get on board this stock. So if it could pull back, form a base, or somehow let the 50-day line, come in range of this, then it might provide an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. You make such a good point about not chasing these high flying stocks. You really want to wait for them to have the proper setup. And there's a reason why we look at those proper buy points and we analyze them in detail on this show as well as IBD Live. And just because the stock has, you missed it the first time, you definitely want to keep names like this on your radar.
Yeah, a lot of the stocks, when we talk about like all-time stocks, and we've gone to webinars and stuff like David Ryan, who used to be a portfolio manager, William O'Neill, and he's a hugely famous trader. A lot of the examples he showed were stocks that had already run up a lot, and then he bought them. I mean, and so it doesn't mean it's like, oh, it ran up one time, it'll never run up again. That's not the way a lot of these stocks work. So definitely, keep them on your radar. This may have a lot of legs, really strong growth potential.
Well, we'll have to see. And I know we'll definitely be tracking it very closely from here to see what potential new entry shapes up for Fastly. But that's it for today, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And you can be sure that the conversation will continue over on IBD Live tomorrow morning. That is our daily live stream where our experts are sharing their screens, talking about actionable trading ideas, stocks for your watch list, portfolio strategies, and current market conditions, a little bit of everything. Isn't that right?
That's right. And I'll be listening in tomorrow, even though I'm not on the show. I mean, I'll try to answer some questions, but more importantly, I just want to listen in and see what everybody has to say about the market and these leading stocks.
Well, we hope to see you there. Check it out over at investors.com/IBD Live. And that's it from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.